Hi guys, it's Lisa with Fit Mom Diary, and I'm here in my kitchen today working on some meal prep for the week. It's just a down day at home. I've got kids all around me. My little guy's next to me. I'm sure you can hear him. We've got friends over. I'm working on laundry. It's just kind of a chill day at home. Time to catch up on chores. So one of the things I'm working on while I've got everything else that I'm juggling is some meal prep. So when I talk about meal prep, basically you're preparing meals ahead of time so that you have some healthy options when either you're in a rush or you have errands to run or you're just tempted to eat something unhealthy. You open your fridge, you've got a complete meal there for you so that you don't make an unhealthy choice. So right now in the oven, I actually have some red potatoes baking. So I bought a couple 3-pound bags of red potatoes. These are a great go-to for a complex carb. If you get burnt out on sweet potatoes, you could do red potatoes, or if you've been doing brown rice a lot and you kind of want to give that a break, you could substitute these instead. So these are working as a carb in your diet, not a vegetable. So what I've done with the potatoes, they're actually, kind of medium-sized potatoes. I cut them in bite-sized pieces. Depending on how big you cut them will determine how long you have to bake them. So I don't want to waste a lot of time. I cut them in just moderately sized pieces. I put them in a baking dish that I'd already sprayed with cooking spray so that the potatoes don't stick to the bottom. And then I actually sprayed on top of the potatoes this cooking spray as well. That gives the seasoning that I put on them something to adhere to. So for seasoning this time, I actually chose ranch packets. I did about 1.5 teaspoons of this on a whole baking dish. So that adds about 15 calories to the potatoes, the whole whole pan of potatoes. And then I just toss it around with the oil the cooking spray and the ranch packet. So it gives lots of flavor in there so that it's not boring healthy food. It's actually good healthy food. So I stuck that in the oven at 425 degrees for maybe 30 minutes. You might just have to check with a fork periodically to see how your potatoes are coming along. And again, it depends on the size of pieces that you've cut them in. So those are my potatoes. Once I got my potatoes in the oven, I moved on to chicken. So I've got chicken in front of me right now. It's frozen chicken. I have not defrosted it. It comes in a package. The kind that I buy is from Winco. It's in a blue bag and it says Tenderbird. And all of these are frozen individually. They're not frozen together, so you don't have to, pull them apart. And they're not individually packaged. So what I did is I took another baking dish and I lined it with aluminum foil. I sprayed the bottom of it so the chicken doesn't stick to it. Then I sprayed the top of the chicken again to give the seasoning that I'm putting on it something to stick to. So what I chose for seasoning today, I love Mrs. Dash. So I'm using the lemon pepper version. And remember, Mrs. Dash doesn't have any salt in it. So I'll be adding salt to this as well. So I sprinkled this all over the top of my chicken. And then I also added some garlic powder because I figure the more intense the flavors, the better it'll make the chicken, because chicken has a tendency to be kind of boring in my book. So that's what I've done. And then again, I sprinkled it with kosher salt. So the chicken is ready to go. The oven is already set. It's at 425 with the potatoes in the oven. All I have to do is cover my chicken now with another piece of aluminum foil, and it's ready to go. I'm going to bake it like this for about 45 minutes. Depending on how thick your chicken is will determine how long you have to bake it for. When I bake it for 45 minutes, I like to get it a little crispy on top. So when the 45 minutes are up, I'll actually take this top layer of aluminum foil off of it, and I'll stick it back in the oven for maybe 5-10 minutes, depending on how my chicken is doing. You might be done at 45 minutes. You might actually have to bake it uncovered for another 15 minutes. It all depends on how thick your chicken actually is. So just cut into a piece and see if it's pink inside, and it should be good to go. Or if it's not pink inside, it should be good to go. Sorry about that. So I'm going to stick this in the oven alongside my potatoes while they're baking. I'm free to take care of this crazy little boy, to get caught up on laundry, to clean my bathroom, all of that fun stuff. Olivia Christine, you don't touch any